Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, guys. Can you hear me? Let me know where you're at and what the season is like right now, what you have been harvesting, and all that good stuff. Because the season is underway. We are midway, give or take, through the season, and we got a lot to talk about today. So let us see who is here. PA says, smile, start my internal love engine. Aw, that's nice. Cecily Cronin, hi from Western Australia. Jeremy Ransom, good morning from LK Home, California. How are all my fellow world gardeners doing? Yes, good question. Mad Mardigan, hi Nate, Southeast Missouri, Zone 6B. All right, somewhat similar zones here. Ursula, hello from Northeast Indiana. Hello. Lisa T, hi from Indiana, where we have rain today. That is right. It is so beautiful. This is like the ideal type of weather for growing. It's ideal type of weather for growing right now. It's like 70, 72, maybe 75, and overcast and raining. The plants love that kind of stuff. So we can get tons and tons of these little patty pan squashes. These are a summer squash. This is a very old variety. And I will just take these, I cut these, and then I cut them like this down along this thing. Slice them about in half, brush with olive oil and salt and pepper, and then put them on the grill. And it tastes delicious. Somewhat like sweet corn. And so I will be making a video in the next week or two to show you how to grill all the, oh man, just wait for the video. That's probably gonna be the only one that you're gonna need because it's the ultimate way to prepare pretty much all the garden greens. So, yes, let's see, who else is here? Shani 2003, new follower here. All right, welcome my friend. Rick, what's up my friend? Says, hey Nate, Houston, Texas. Vera Witch Lady, hi from Belgium. Still very little rain. Oh, yeah, we haven't had a lot of rain here, but it's back to being a normal growing season, thankfully. We started out with a month of dry, bone dry and hot, but then it's actually turned into like a cooler summer, you know? It's highs are like in the mid 80s, you know, it's actually kind of cooler summer. So, and we're getting rain, you know, a light rain every few days and stuff, every 4 or 5 days, which is great. And from dentist to farmer says, hello from New Jersey. Hello, my friend. And let's see here. Mesopotamia says, Nate, you're dope. I need another multicam boonie. Yes, that's true. You do. And I'm going to be getting some merch pretty soon. Because I just, last week, you guys, when we talked, I was at the Content Creator Symposium, whatever we want to call it. Whatever we want to call it. And sometimes it just happens. Look, sometimes it just happens. The houseplants go through a molt sometimes, and so you just have to prepare for that. But yeah, last week came to you guys live from the Aquascapes sponsored or organized thing, and got all kinds of great ideas and new inspiration and invigoration, and just got to see how other people were doing stuff, which is awesome. So I was really thankful for that. And one of the things is the merch. I definitely want to get up on that because I think it's an awesome idea. And I really like, look, living the Aquascapes lifestyle. Even though I wouldn't have cursive because, you know, them young kids today, they can't even read cursive. And so it's going to have like a Viking. I love this color though. And I actually really like this. I've been using it every day. It's really nice. It keeps things hot just long enough for me. Because the Yeti that Jerry still has is keeps it scalding hot for like hours and hours. So I like it to cool off at some point, you know, before I drink it. So this thing is pretty nice. So I think I'm gonna find out exactly where they got these and then put some. What do you guys think would be some good sayings to go on it? On the merch. I know loyal to the soil. I know okay, my friends, here it is. That's a good one. I know all different kinds of stuff, but yeah. I think it's a great idea. Marshall Rommel says, hello, Nate from Washington State. Ah, yes. Pacific Northwest, one of my most favorite places. Online Cheaters Exposed says, I got a question about your eggshell and vinegar solution. When this mixture is processing, can it be placed in a greenhouse so the plants can absorb the CO2? Absolutely. Yes, it can. Now, is that going to actually change the ppm, the parts per million of the greenhouse? Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. It's going to be too little. For, PA, yeah, contrary to popular belief. That's not a bad one. Scott Miller, feed the soil, not the plant. Absolutely. That will be on one of them. Thank you. That's a good one. The eggshells, it doesn't really release enough. Like, back in the day, before indoor cannabis growing became mainstream, we had to do things like, I'm talking years ago, there was like buckets, little buckets that you could add the yeast and it would activate and it would create your tiny little gorilla grow tent. It would up the ppm of the carbon dioxide. And because the plants grow much more vigorous when there is more carbon dioxide. And so but after years of using those and seeing that, I came to the understanding of how much it actually takes. So if you were going to try and harness or have the eggshell mixture boost the ppm of the atmosphere, it would have to be in a very small grow tent and you would have to turn off the air exchange. So it just wouldn't be that much. But yes, absolutely, you can do it. Not a problem. That guy Chris says, question, is it better to make JMS from needle leaf mold under pines to use on blueberries so it has the acid-loving bacteria? I don't feel like it would be. Based upon my experience and my understanding of the process and everything, it's not really going to matter because there's thousands upon thousands of different kinds of microorganisms in just a gram of the leaf mold. I mean, thousands of different species. And most of them, the vast majority of microorganism species, science does not even yet understand. Doesn't even have even a fraction, well, it has a fraction, but a small fraction of them cataloged. So there's, I forget the exact numbers. I used to know, the estimated numbers, but there's something like 2 million different kinds just in the leaf mold soil of bacterias and fungi, of microorganisms. And we can only understand 20,000 of them, which is still a lot. But all those out of the 2 million, we've only actually understand and cataloged 20,000. So the understanding of it is not really that good, regardless of what science wants to try and lead on that it is. It's not really. So we just have to take it from the viewpoint, not of a scientist, but more of nature in the holistic standpoint. We have to look at it as a whole. And so we can take the leaf mold, sure, take some of the leaf mold from there, because what's best to do, remember, if you've watched my leaf mold videos, is to get a number of different sources. You don't only go to one place and get all the leaf mold from there. So yes, go to under the pine tree, get some of that. Get some of that leaf mold. And then go under the oak tree and get some of that leaf mold. All from in your area, and that's going to be the best. Yes, the widest diversity possible. That's what I would do. But I don't think it necessarily, I don't believe it necessarily correlates that if I got them from under a pine tree, that would be more acid-loving bacteria. I don't think that it works that way. Eddie Zapita says, when in doubt, do without. Oh, I like that. Man, that is an unofficial slogan of my life, really. I like that. Oh, sorry to the person that left the comment, is really agitated at my slurping of the tea mixture. It's just so good. You know, when I was traveling through Southeast Asia and stuff, really anywhere in the Orient, the people slurp super loud, and it's like a sign of pleasure or that I'm pleased with the dish. It's like a compliment to the owners, to the chef and stuff like that. So you'll be in like a faux shop or something like that, and you'll just hear the people, slurping down real super loud and like, but that's just cultural thing. So everything is cultural conditioning, guys. Anything that you think, and this is one of the biggest things that I learned when I started traveling the world, was that everything that you take for granted that you think is a normal way of doing things is only normal to you in your tiny little area of life. Every aspect of life can be and is done differently somewhere else. The whole way that you look at the world, what motivates you, what you think is success and failure, what gets you out of bed in the morning, what makes you feel fulfilled in life, the way that you react and interact with people around you, All of that stuff is completely conditional. It's conditioned based upon your environment and your culture. It's done differently elsewhere. That was a huge realization when I first started traveling. And let's see here. Marshall Rummel, the mold is gold. Ooh, yeah, and a sign of leaves. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Jill Stavos says, slurp like a Viking. My grandpa, 100% Swede. He did. All right. That guy Chris, fertilize the channel with a thumbs up. That's right, my friends. Don't forget that thumbs up. And yeah, I think I'm going to start a Facebook because I haven't been doing much on Facebook, but I really think that after the Content Creator Symposium last week, I really need to get up on the Facebook. But I'm going to delete the Facebook group that I have, or the page I have now, the Garden Like a Viking page, because I actually cheated. I did it wrong. I started that page several years ago before I had any gardening YouTube channel or anything like that. And then I just tried to convert it. I just converted it to the gardening channel so that I could keep all the likes and followers. But doing that kind of messed everything up. So now I have I got like 5,000 followers on that page, but they're not interested in gardening. So yeah, I'm going to delete that. So you guys in the next, it'll probably be this upcoming week. So look for the Facebook page because I'm going to do things that are that I'll only do on Facebook. Also on Instagram. So I got my hands in those different things as well. If you guys have been following the Instagram account, then you will see in my stories that finally got the ice bath, the chest freezer ice bath up and running. And it is amazing. It's incredible how much the body accustoms to it. See, in the fall time when I do it outside, I have the tub outside, the tub that I grow sweet potatoes in. I then use it for the cold training in the fall and the winter. But it gradually gets colder. And so as the nights get colder, the water kind of gets colder and you can work into it. But man, the chest freezer is cold. I mean, it is 30, there's ice on it. And so, boy, you go in there and that thing is boom. And you didn't have a chance. It's been several months now since I've ice bathed. And so it was a shock to the system. But I'm on day 2 or 3 now, day 3. And so it's wonderful to get it back into the system. And let's see, that guy Chris, a Viking on ice, shaken or stirred? Yes, neither. Perfectly equanimous. That's what it is. I like Discord. It's pretty good to share information without the Facebook drama. Okay, Discord, I should look into that. Scott Miller, go green, not blue. Okay, yes, that's right. Our tomatoes aren't ripening fast this year, and the ones that have are bland. Yes, where are you at? Rail CLS? Railks? That can happen because when the tomato experiences temperatures really above like 85, consistent temperatures above 85, definitely above 90, 95 for sure, then it can't produce the compounds, the lycopene and the other compounds that help it to turn red and that help it to ripen its flavor. And so, okay, you're in Mississippi, so for sure it's hot there. I'm sure it's hot. And so with that heat, they just don't like it. You know, they will not. So they will take longer to develop the lycopene. They will also take longer to really develop the complex flavor because they will taste sort of bland up until just give it another month or so, or if it can cool off, or if you can put some shade cloth. I don't know how intense the heat is, the sun is there, but if you can put some shade cloth over the tomatoes, then, like a 40%, something like that, that will help them to ripen a bit faster. But you can't really rush it. I mean, I've got a ton of green tomatoes. The Romas are just going totally crazy. I did the method this year because I'm making a year-long video for you guys to show you one very good way. I didn't even trellis them. I just put down the landscaping fabric and let them sprawl. And that is actually the best way to do tomatoes. And I think I'm probably the only one on YouTube that is saying this. But based upon my experience, guys, the tomato is designed to sprawl. It's actually like a vine, especially the indeterminate ones. And so when they can just sprawl and rest everything on the ground like that, they actually like that the best, and they will produce the best if you just let them sprawl on the ground. Now, it doesn't look all neat and tidy and stuff like that, and it's not very easy to get in there and stuff, but it's no trellising work, no pruning, no watering, weeding, fertilizing, nothing. I planted those tomatoes, and I'll show you guys. I'm taking videos all throughout the year. I planted those tomatoes. I put down some of the Viking granular fertilizer that I'm developing for you guys, a recipe from my time in Northern California. I put down about 2 quarts of that in the area, and then put the landscaping fabric down. That's crucial. And then I cut the holes in it and just plant the tomatoes and just let them sprawl. And they are so healthy. They're way outdoing the ones that are in the cages, which are still nice and vigorous. But the ones on the ground, they just love that. So yeah, you can do it that way. You don't have to string them up and cut them and all that kind of stuff. And let's see here. It said, okay, Mesopotamia, fungus gnats have been an issue. Well, nuisance. Diatomaceous earth sprinkled, Lost Coast. The soil is still their preferred place. Lost Coast, man, that's where I used to be. So you're in Humboldt, is that right? Is that what you mean by the Lost Coast? Yeah, I was in, well, down by Garberville on the west side of the 101 for just a really great time in life. But let's see, black crim tomato, okay, in 9A, Half Bubble says, in 9A, black crim tomatoes would split and be filled with some kind of beetle before I could get to them. Yes, the splitting of the tomatoes. So at this point, guys, you're probably noticing, you're probably getting split tomatoes. And that comes from an inconsistency in watering. It comes from the tomato not having that much water for some time, and then all of a sudden getting flooded with water. Maybe it rains or you water it more and just boom. Okay. Okay, but sprayed Lost Coast. Okay, that's some kind of spray. I'm not sure what that is. Got you. But the tomatoes will burst in that case, and you want to remove them once they burst, because they will only attract to them things like the fruit flies and the gnats. They will only attract to them things that eat tomatoes. Remember that at this point in the garden, guys, when you remove stuff like weeds or parts of plants or something, or you want to take it away from where the plants are, because otherwise you are attracting things that are going to eat that plant, right? So we want to immediately move it to the compost pile or the compost bin. We don't want to just cut off some leaves and let them lay on the ground, or we don't want to just, oh, that tomato is split, so we're just going to leave it there. No, pick it off and take it to the compost bin or turn it into fertilizer in some other way, whatever it is. You don't want to just attract things that eat tomatoes, because that's exactly what will happen. And so, yeah. Do I save seeds? Absolutely, I save seeds. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. And so I save as many seeds as possible. The only thing I don't save seeds from is peppers, because I like to, because I'm a huge pepper eater in the sense, not real spicy ones. Poblano is about as spicy as I go. Maybe jalapeno sometimes, but I like to put them into I like to grind them. If you've watched my videos, I like to grind them and dehydrate them, grind them, use them as a spice all winter long. Smoke them sometimes, ferment them and all that. So for that reason, I don't save pepper plants, seeds, because they cross-pollinate so easily. And I've done it so many times, and I've just ended up, you end up with just a bland nothingness the year after. So yeah. How far apart do I plant the tomatoes? If you're doing the sprawl method, if you have the room, do 4 feet, or even 5 feet. I mean, if you have the room, do one long strip of landscaping fabric, do 4 to 5 feet, especially if they're indeterminates, then do 5 feet. That's ideal. So, but if you are confined for space, then do determinates like a Roma, something that only gets to a certain size. And you can do them 3 feet. You can do them 3 feet. Just don't crowd them too much, because they will take up a lot more area that way. Yes, thank you, PA. I forgot this. Let me see here. Somebody gracious. First tip of the day. Let me see. Man, way up there. Lisa T, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. First tip of the day. It's good to be here, Nate. Appreciate your content and enthused love of the garden. Yes, you are very welcome, my friend. I appreciate you being here as well, because it is all part of the community. Guys, do you realize we are 100,000 strong now? That's pretty awesome. We just started this channel about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit less, year and 4 months. And so I'm very pleased with it. This shows a couple of things. Well, primarily that people are hungry for this kind of knowledge, that there's a resurgence in this kind of thing, which is wonderful. It needs to happen. That's the whole mission, all right? And so Ingrid says, I planted a garden in the old chicken run. The tomatoes are doing amazing. Oh, I bet, man. Yeah, the chickens do wonderful stuff to the earth. And so, yeah, so 100,000, which is really great. And, you know, we have people on Instagram. We got like the Instagram sort of blowing up, which is cool. And if you guys are trying to send me pictures and stuff, you can use the Instagram account. Use Instagram. Tag me in it. It's a real easy platform to communicate with. Way better than emails, because my emails are getting blown up now with a bunch of other stuff. So, yes. And then once I start the new Facebook group, then that will also be a great way. Let's see here. Aaron says, my calcium solution mixed with the wetting agent. JWA makes a cloudy, chunky reaction. Chunky reaction. Well, are you mixing it straight? Because you can't mix it straight. But what ratios are you mixing it? You want to add the water and then the calcium solution and then the JWA after that. All right. And Akira says, my mint has survived a winter with 0-degree temps Fahrenheit and now working fine but in the 105. Yeah, mint is incredible. Mint is very, very strong. And so that is, once you plant mint, you can pretty much, you have a friend for life. Yes, Busy Girl says, I've been on board when you first started. Congratulations on your channel growth. Yes, thank you, my friend. And yes, I remember you have been there since the beginning. And there's a lot of people that have used the link in the description to, I will answer that in a moment. Okay, let me answer that first. Grant says, how do you make labs from existing labs? And yes, the answer is yes, we can do that. Now, we do not want to do it so to make labs from labs, you take the labs that you have, the solution, and if you're using about a gallon of milk, add, if it's fresh labs, it can just be 1 cup. Or if it's 3 or 4 or 5 weeks old, then use 2 cups of the previous lab solution into the new solution. And that will make it really well. And you can do that. That will work really well so that you don't have to capture the new microorganisms with the rice wash water. So we can do that about 2, 3, 4 times. But then after that, start fresh so that you're capturing the strong, good bacteria again. Because I've done... Online Cheater says, what is labs? Labs is the lactic acid bacteria solution or serum. And that is, it's like a KNF kind of thing, Korean natural farming thing. And it is a very good way. It's just a general, it's one of the best plant tonics that you can make. Good for the soil. You can use it in house plants. It eliminates the smell. If your pots have gone kind of rancid, then you can add the labs. Diluted at about 1 ounce per gallon of water. 2 ounces a gallon of water can be as well. Online Cheater says it's EM1. Not necessarily though. It's not the effective microorganism, kind of. I think it's superior to the EM. I used the EM for many years in Humboldt when I was growing, commercially there and stuff. And it's the stuff that you can make yourself. It's just so much more potent. And so much, because you're not trying to make the profit with it. And so you can really give it the love and the good stuff. But so you can just add it as if you're making labs from labs, add it as if it's the rice wash solution, okay? But then, yeah, you want to about every 3rd or 4th time capture it fresh with the rice wash water. Because the reason that we do that is so that we can capture only the strongest of the strains of the lactobacilli. Because the rice wash is actually a very weak nutrient solution, meaning it's not very good food for the lactic acid. So the ones that survive are only going to be the strongest, hardiest ones. Whereas, so that when we dump it into the milk, those strong strains is going to proliferate extremely fast because the milk is a very rich nutrient solution. So Kip Tap, $10, thumbs up. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. I know you've been there a long time as well. Terry Guttle, Terry Jude, how do I say that? $10, thank you very much, my friend. Third tip of the day. Says, any tips on how to keep the weeds and grass out of the garden? I use mulch, but it still gets through and is a futile effort. Thanks much. Yes, Terry, I suggest you watch my video, the #1 reason big gardens fail. And I will illustrate a couple of different ways that you can pretty much eliminate the weeds in the garden. It's imperative because most people, that's what turns them off, is having too much weeding to do, and then they go on vacation or they leave for some time, and then boom, it gets out of control, and then they come back and they're just totally disheartened. And so we really need to keep up on it. But the old school way, which is actually the new old school, in the sense of just tilling it all up and then having bare earth, and just, man, you have weeds all over the place and you have to constantly cultivate and work on it and stuff. But you can definitely utilize heavy mulch. And if you've still got weed problems, once the weeds all go to seed and stuff on top of your mulch, then it's just going to become like a weed bed. So you need to utilize some of the modern technology, in the sense of you can utilize landscape fabric or straight up plastic, depending on where you live. You can use a straight up plastic mulch. That's not right in every situation, but it can work. Marcus says, get your fungal population up and you'll have less weeds. Yeah, that can be true. That can be true, but in theory, that works really well, but in practice, that it can be kind of hit or miss, because how are you going to tell if your fungal populations have increased really? I mean, you can see mycelium and everything, but even then you still would have to take several soil samples and examine them under a microscope with some type of computer software that could count and things. So it would be, it's the weeds are going to sprout because that's what they do. The weeds are the force of nature that is there to hold the soil together and to capture carbon out of the air and to pump it into the earth, so where it can feed the community of microorganisms. That's what the earth always wants. It never wants a big patch of open ground, like a lot of people's traditional type gardens are, just bare earth. It never wants that. So it's always trying to, because the soil erodes, the soil washes away, the topsoil, all of that. The microorganisms have no food. And at least not the plant-specific ones. And so nature is always trying to have a living root in the ground. That's its #1 goal. And so the weeds are there to ensure that a living root is always in the ground. And so they are going to pop up. So you have to have something, as the gardener, you have to understand that these plants that we cultivate for food are not competitive. They are little princess plants. They're just little snowflake plants that melt at the slightest pressure, at the slightest heat in the kitchen. You know what I mean? As to where the local indigenous plants, the weeds, the thistle and the dandelion and the bindweed and all of this, if you have morning glories and all this other kind of stuff, they are going to grow no matter what, because they got the home field advantage, and they are meant to, and rhizome grass and stuff like that. They are meant by nature. They're designed, selectively designed to grow no matter what, to always have a living root in the ground. And so this is very important that we understand this. And so we can work with this in the sense that we will turn them into fertilizer, but also we can learn to what weeds are not really that big of a deal. I've got lots of dandelions because I just let them proliferate. Because the dandelion isn't really competitive. It grows the big taproot, but then it shades out. It's basically almost like a living mulch. So dandelions are not really a big problem. Morning glories, thistles, bindweed, huge problem. Quackgrass, Rhizome grass, huge problem because it strangles everything out. And so it strangles everything out. And so we need to really be selective with that. But then if you, so the mulches is just so important, guys. And so when PM says, hi, love your channel. Good to see you live. Yes, good to see you too, my friend. VA Green says, would cover crops be better than dealing with the weeds and grass? Well, cover crops, depending on how you use the cover crop, yes. A good way is if you have an area that you're going to plant next year or in 2 years or something, then cover crops, definitely. You can use the cover crops and they will enrich the soil and they will sort of outcompete the natural weeds and stuff if you plant them thick enough. But yeah, that is there's many different ways to utilize the cover crops. Let's see here. Man, okay, Busy Girl says, dandelions feed the pollinators. Absolutely they do. You know what else is, man, and I've just took some footage of it, is the fennel plant that is like 7-8 feet tall and like 8 feet around, and it's just blooming like crazy, and all kinds of insects all over it, as well as the oregano and the thyme. Stuff is going crazy right now. So many pollinators on it. Yes. Okay. So I wanted to tell you guys, or I wanted to say thank you to the people that have used the link in the description to make a donation to the PayPal. Definitely. Okay. Sometime within the last month or so. Jennifer M, which is spray can. Did I end up answering that question about the leaves that you had? I forget exactly. Let me know if I answered that question or not. You can ask it again. Because there's a section that you can write a comment, but I don't think anyone ever sees my responses. I'm talking on the PayPal thing, so I'll just respond to the questions here. Karen T, Donna G, Luz or Luz or Lou, L-U-Z-H, Viper Advance, of course, Selvam Shri, Darren F, Jordan C, Joanne, of course, Erica A, Lisa C, Kelly M, Linda M, Torque Tech. Thank you very much for this generous donation, my friend. String M, Susan M, Daniel E, Brenda W, Gary S, Daniela F, David B. Congratulations on the completion of the Master Cleanse, my friends. I know exactly how that feels. Dawn P, Donald H, yes, the Back from the Dead 69-year-old, thank you. Jose F, and the tree medium question. So for you, I would utilize what the tree would be, because you had a question about, I want to start some trees in pots, but I can't move them for some time. So what would be a good medium? Now, you want to mimic as close as possible what they would naturally be getting. So I don't know where you are and stuff, but here we have tons of little forests around. If you can go to the forest and you can get some of that soil, I don't know how many or how much of it you need. That's a really good way. Okay, and you can have some of the forest soil and then a nice thick layer of leaves on top, and that's going to mimic its natural environment the most. You mentioned compost in your comment, and yes, you can add compost to that, and that's not going to keep it from, that's not going to stunt it in the future, because it will just, that's really gonna, you do want to add some compost in there. So what I would do is I would make a mixture of some forest soil, some compost, and then put the leaf mold on top. That's what I would definitely do with that. So thank you guys very much. Also wanted to say, guys, I got the P.O. box finally after jumping through many hoops, and the P.O. box is gonna look like this. Garden like a Viking. So if you guys want to send something to a P.O. box, you can send me anything that you want. It's gonna be Garden like a Viking, P.O. box 9101, Fort Wayne, Indiana 46899, and that will come to me. So yes, P.O. box. I'll be putting the links in the description and stuff like that. I'll be putting that information in the description. So for those of you that have asked. So thank you guys very much for contributing to the cause. Let's see here. Online Cheater says, was the electroculture a April Fool's? I got very curious when I saw your video about it. That would have been a good one, wouldn't it? No, it's not an April Fool's. Not at all. So I actually have almost a dozen different experiments going on with that across several different gardens. And that video is going to be coming out in about another 3 weeks to a month, really. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not because I'm just going to show you guys the exact results of the experimentation, and you can decide and you can see. And but we don't really tell. Everyone's like, man, where's the electroculture update, or what's the results? That's not how it works, guys. You don't just boom and then see next week, oh, everything is so luscious, so that proves that it works. No, that doesn't prove anything. You need to have a good amount of time. And you have to take a lot of variables into account when you're making the decision as well, to understand what you're observing. And so it's going to be probably another month. I mean, to give it, because you got to give it the good amount of time. You got to say, okay, well, this plant has double the tomatoes this other plant does. That you can't tell that when the tomatoes are this big. I mean, how are they going to ripen? How are they going to taste? You got to know all these different things. So, because when I give my opinion on it, it is going to be me speaking what I know to be true. And so in order for me to put my stamp on it, just like everything else in this channel, I have to be absolutely confident in it. I have to say yes or no, one way or the other, and stick to what I say. And so the only way I can do that is by thoroughly observing and waiting the appropriate amount of time. So that's the update. So Danny says, why aren't my habaneros ripening? It's been like 3 months or so. I overwintered it, so it produced fruits earlier than normal. Yeah, overwintering them, habaneros, peppers in general, can take a long time to ripen. Is this your first year doing it like that? Because none of my peppers are even close to ripening. I mean, they're still totally 100% green, and they're not going to ripen for like another 6 weeks. They take a long time to really ripen. Patty pan squash, guys. This is a really good old school variety. I love these little things. Okay. Laura Larson says, doesn't the copper poison the soil and kill microbes? Well, we do know for sure, this is backed up by scientific data and evidence and experience, that microorganisms cannot long live on copper. This is why copper is used in your pipes in your house. That is why things that have to do with potable drinking water use copper pipes. Not because it's so easy to work with, because it's actually very expensive, but because if you were to take microorganism stuff and put it onto the copper, the surface is such, the molecular sort of structure is such that the microorganisms will not long live. And so it is sort of antimicrobial, antibacterial, that kind of thing, as opposed to other different kinds of metals. So yes, we do know that for sure. That's one reason I love a good copper drinking vessel. Always for the pure water. Pilar Guillot, I'm not sure how I say that name, says, yay, I made it. Hello from the Caribbean. Hello, my friend. VA Green says, is the copper a natural fungicide? Kind of, yes. Yes, that's based upon what I understand of copper, yes. Natural sort of fungicide. But this does not correlate to sticking to the rods in the ground. We don't know how this correlates. Okay, please touch on the best way to donate to the channel that gives you the highest percentage of the donation. Yes. Well, that would be the PayPal link, definitely, because YouTube does take a cut of these donations on here, which is fine, totally fine with me, because I deeply appreciate what YouTube has done for my life. And I am happy to give them a cut of stuff because they are my partner. And that is definitely the way I view it. It's not like, oh, YouTube is taking such and such percentage. No, I'm totally fine, man. This is their platform. They are doing me a tremendous service. So I'm more than happy to share because there's always enough. There's just always enough to go around, for everything. So I don't get hung up about that cut from YouTube, but to answer the question, definitely the PayPal. If you use the link in the description, I get all of it, which is great, really great. And if you send something to the P.O. box, of course, then I get 100% of it, which is great. But soon I will have, guys, there's so much going to be coming. You guys are going to see this channel like in another couple of years, and you're going to be like, wow, it's the whole thing has like, you're going to feel like you were here at the ground level. This is the inner circle, tribe, because we will have land, we will have the whole different a school going on. This is in a 5-year plan, something like this. But we will have animals and all kinds of different things going on. There's going to be so much. And so all of that is getting developed, and I can just see it already. This is not just like, oh, I hope this happens. It's like I've already seen it, just like this is how things have always gone in my life. And so this is on its way. And so there will be a lot of different things. Like I will be creating a nonprofit. The school, the land will be the nonprofit organization so that we can come in community. There will be seminars where people can come and learn these skills, 3-day classes, week-long classes, things that, and extended classes where people can help on the school, on the land. They can help do things, but also if they want an in-depth look to really get the spirit of the earth within them. And it can entail, the course could be a month long, and it could entail a master cleanse in there, a guided master cleanse experience, and along with learning to speak the language of the earth, all these different kind of things, it's all coming. And so I'm very excited for all of that. So this is all just the ground floor. This is all the beginning. And with that in mind, I will have like donation links and stuff coming up in the future, Venmo and Cash App, that kind of stuff as well. So, yeah, the nonprofit, definitely, because I don't care about, just build the school, just build the area, I'm not sure what to call it yet. So yeah, because we're still like in the visioneering the elements of it, but I can see that it's already sort of formulated. If you guys watch my other channel, Nate Murray, where we talk about the subconscious mind, and we talk about the nature of reality, we talk about the now, what the now is, we talk about the illusion of time and all of these kind of things. If you watch that channel, you'll understand more about what I'm saying, as far as I can just see it. It's not really like something I'm trying to do or make happen, but it's happening. So yeah, there's my thing on that. And oh yes, Lisa T, thank you. That P.O. Box, Garden Like a Viking, P.O. Box 9101, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46899. All right. Man, that sounds super official when I just said that out. When I just said that out loud, that sounds super official. I got a P.O. Box now, which is funny. So yeah, you guys can send whatever you want, man. And it's all going towards the cause, because I do not spend any kind of money, because long ago, I was able to tame my desires, in the sense that there was a time in life when I came into a huge amount of cash. And so I went crazy, and I acquired everythting I ever wanted to. I got this badass Jeep, and I decked it out like a Mad Max vehicle, and I had all these things, and every I had all these things that I always wanted, and all the just different things that I had ever wanted, and so, but then I came to the realization after several years of this that I was just deeply miserable still and unhappy with life. And so I was like, wow, okay, I'm so glad that I got to see just from this that no matter what I am getting or acquiring, it just is not, it's not going to satisfy the hole that I had within me at that time. And so after going through many things like that over the years, I come to learn that happiness is not found in the material world. And so listen to me, I'm talking like we're on the Nate Murray live cast. So anyways, that's a long way to say that, yeah, when in doubt, do without. I like that saying, when in doubt, do without. Because it's best that we save our monies, guys, and that we invest it in things that are going to improve the quality of life. For ourselves, yes, but that's a side effect. But for the whole, the collective, that's very important. Moldy Soldier says, what's up from Iowa? What's up, my friend? Let's see here. Doug, yeah. Hey, I need to talk to you. It says, I finally caught you live. I'm so excited. Yes. I definitely want to, man, I want to hit you up. I need to get that logo happening. So we will talk about that. And then, yeah, guys, there'll be a website coming when I have time to really focus on it, because there's so much stuff that's been going on. I just, my head's spinning still, so this fall, when I get the time, I'm going to dedicate it to creating the website. And so that will be a good place for you guys to, it'll really take the information that is all over YouTube and Instagram and stuff and categorize it and organize it. So you can go to the website and then get all of the information. Because right now it's just like there's so many videos and stuff. People don't really know how to, it's not organized very well, but the website will organize it very well for you guys. So, Garth says, so odd that you struggled to get a P.O. box. In Canada, they're free for the asking, but we pay more taxes, a lot more. Yeah, it was a struggle for me because for several years, many years, I didn't even exist on paper really. And so, and I was in and out of the country and all this stuff. And so it's like different addresses and all that. I was traveling around. So it's all it's not like normal person who's just lived their life in their town for, years. So, Big West says, all compost is not created equal. All gardeners are not created equal. That's true, my friend. Lisa T, the P.O. box makes me happy. Yes, me too. It feels official. Let's see here. Michael Damiani says, please donate to the cause, people. He's giving to all of us. Yes, my friend, I'm glad that you feel the spirit. Definitely. Let's see. Aziz says, that is called getting cocky. Let's see. I forget what you might be talking about in that, was saying that. Garth says, it's a campus. Ooh, I like that. Okay, the campus. That's a good way to put it. That sounds better than school to me. And it would be a lot more like that. Yes, definitely. Vrushali Garden says, it's a noob here. Can your methods be scaled down to very small garden spaces, patios? Any tips on how to manage soil fertility for such scenarios? Definitely. That's the ultimate. I mean, you can scale down or up with these methods. Definitely. So if you're doing on patios, guys, if you're doing container gardening, don't focus on trying to recreate what you would do in the earth when the plants are in the earth, yet in a pot. What you need to do is make the soil outside of the pots. You have to spray, you have to culture the microorganisms and stuff like that in the soil, separate from the pots. And then once it's all cooked down and everything is added and it's good, then you will put it into the pots and it's supercharged. Basically pure compost. You can grow wonderful plants in pure finished compost. So you need to have the area though to do that or something. So once the soil goes into the pots and stuff, you're not really adding a lot. You will add like an aerated compost tea, very good, which we don't quite have the video yet. That'll be coming in the next week or two about the aerated compost teas, and that really could be all that you need. So guys, I could let you in on a secret that this year, because I'm always trying new stuff and I'm always streamlining the processes. I'm always tweaking things to make it better and to make it more. And so this year, all that I've done with the garden is added the specialized aerated compost teas. That's it. I haven't used any of the Jadam fertilizers. I haven't used any of the other stuff. I haven't needed to. And yet the plants are luscious and beautiful. And that comes from, now it's been several years in this area, and I do the base fertilization. That's the most important. What you put into the soil is the most important. What goes on the soil and what is in the soil. That is the most important. And so if you got that game down, then you don't need to be adding like liquid fertilizers all the time. Those are only additional. Those are only like a boosting of what you have. Okay, so the first couple of years you can add that stuff, but then you don't really need to. Once the soil's alive and the life is in there, good aerated compost teas, utilizing the fish fertilizer and a few of the other things that we showed, is really all that you need. Yes. And it got me back up on the aerated compost tea train because I'm in a city environment. There's like houses right next to me. Even though I got a real good sized backyard for being in the city, and I turned every square inch into a garden. But the the JDOM stuff, like I've said before, it's not right in this setup for me because my neighbor's like bedroom window is like next to where the JDOM stuff. It just is too much scent. And so the aerated compost teas have no smell whatsoever. They smell pleasant. They smell like fresh bread, really. So so getting back to the, I don't know what got me off on that. The question about yes, you can scale it all down. So just prepare the soil right, get the soil right, and then you don't have to use all that much stuff. Even you guys, if you've watched my short, you guys, and you know that I got the symphylins or whatever, garden symphs, in the soil because they only attack soil with really good structure in it. And it is one of the downfalls because so what I'm gonna stop kind of doing is bringing in so much organic matter from so many different places because I think that's kind of what brought the symphylins in is using all these leaves from so many different places, and maybe I just don't know. I've got different experiments going on, but did I ever figure out how to treat them? Not yet. I'm going to apply I usually just let things work themselves out. Apply a good compost tea or something and let them sort of work themselves out. I apply as little as possible, but I think I will have to apply. I'm going to do the JWA and the JDOM sulfur, and I'm going to apply it to the area around there. What variety of Napa cabbage do I grow? The Golden Beauty. That's the number one. Yes. And let's see here. Okay, got a couple of tips. Scott Murray, thank you very much, Dad. Appreciate the tip. Where's the question? And let's see here. Wojtek, $10. Thank you, my friend. I have received and tested the stainless steel pump you recommended, and it's truly impressive how it handles debris in the barrel without any issues. Yes. Okay, so you're talking about the little giant. Yeah. That one is phenomenal, man. It is so powerful and it just handles the debris with ease. So I love it. Yes, the one that I put the link in the description. And let us see. So let me scan through these comments real quick. So many. Awesome. Glad you guys are having conversation amongst yourselves and all that. So, Jerry, what's up, my friend? He says, I'll get that mug to your P.O. box, but I'll miss the name mention. Yes, but I'll miss the name mention. Garden Like a Viking. Yeah, P.O. box. That's where you can add it to, give it to. Yeah, and I just got some... Jerry, I did some consulting work with him, and so he has given me a portion of one of his calf. A side of beef, a quarter of it, and man, truly a really great gesture. I deeply appreciate it. I received it yesterday, and it looks amazing. There's all kinds of, and it's good grass-fed stuff. Jerry just has them on pure grass-fed, grass-finished, pastured the whole time, treated with love. That's the way to do it, guys. If you are not in an area where you can yet raise your own beef and cattle, then it's best to find someone that does it consciously. And when you do, stick with them and develop some kind of a relationship with them. That's really good because then you know that the stuff is good and free of the chemicals, free of all the stuff that you don't want. And it had a good life. Pastured cows are meant to be pastured, not confined up and stuff fed a bunch of garbage. And so, just receiving that, all different kinds of cuts, so I'm looking really forward. And the liver, because the other people that got the other parts, I guess they are not into the liver. So I got like 10 pounds of liver, which is just fantastic. Because if you guys know, I'm all about eating the raw beef liver. I love it. And so, super excited. Just want to say thank you, my friend. And let us see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Rachel says, scent is an understatement with the J-Dom. Yes, I saw your video. Okay, I saw your video, and I like it. You know, I like how honest you are in the video. I like how straightforward you are, you know, kind of laughing at yourself with us and stuff like that. I like all that, man. So great video, guys. You can check her video out. She's doing like an electroculture and a J-Dom and a control experiment. It's Rachel. It's successful. Whoops. It's successful garden design right here, and made a video about it. But yes, of course, as you say, though, you didn't really do the J-Dom right. As far as the foundational aspect is the 5-time JMS application, definitely, and is also the fall base fertilizer. That's probably more important to me. That's more important than anything. What you put into the soil the year before or on top of the soil, that's important. So, but yeah, it's too early to tell. You know, I mean, you got really good. It's gonna bounce back. Don't worry, my friend. Amy Artwick says it's really dry in Texas. Will it? I'm trying to collect leaf mold, but it's really dry in Texas. Will it still work? Yes, it will still work because those microorganisms are accustomed to whatever the climate is like in Texas, and so they will be just fine. They can go dormant. So it's not going to be a problem. Let's see. Big West says, my compost is past the thermo phase, but still rotting and not quite done. Worried about using it wrong in a tea. Yes. So how does it smell? Can you recognize individual ingredients? So if it smells like it's still rotting, then we want to wait. But if it smells like compost, if it smells like sort of forest floor, then it's okay to use. Even if it's not 100% finished, I still use it. Just so long as you don't have any like rancid smell going on. And Stone Creek says, they say plant potatoes in there. They don't like potatoes. Yeah, I know, but the thing I showed you was literally right next to a potato bed. And so, I mean, you can't really plant potatoes up in the mix of all your other stuff because potatoes will take over and they need, a lot of people say that because James Piragoni, I don't know how you say his name, from, Jersey, his gardening channel, he said something about that they don't like potatoes, which might be great. But no, I'm going to apply the J-Dom wetting agent and the J-Dom sulfur. And then we will see because they have not left. Online Cheaters Exposed says, just donated $10 on PayPal. Thanks for answering my questions. You're very welcome, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate that tip. Yeah, that's a good way to do it as well. Let's see here. Weed water combo. Yes, for weed water combo for what? Okay, Demir says, just got some beneficial nematodes to try on those suckers. Okay, well, yes, let me know if it works, definitely. But I have not seen anything online that says anything about being able to work on the symphylins. So we'll see. The only thing that it's really hurting right now is the eggplants. I have 2 eggplants that typically are nice and big, and I get big fat eggplants, but they're not doing anything. I mean, they're just sitting there for weeks, and they're sad. They're real sad. And I go and kind of pull on it, and they'll come right out. And I can see, as I made in that video, I put another eggplant right in its spot, and it's doing the same thing. So I'm going to have to apply some of that stuff. TC says, hey, Nate, are you related to John Muir? I think you might mean John Muir, which would be different. M-U-I-R? No, I'm not. My family name comes from Norway, and so the Muirs in California are different. So let's see here. The Blue Wolf says, nothing quite like the foam of an aerated tea. Oh, I know. It smells delicious, almost to the point I wish I could drink it sometimes. Jeremy Ransom says, garden like a Viking retreat. Sit down and have a large feast together. Oh, for sure, man. That would be part of the whole campus, the whole school project, the whole, that'd be part of it. It would be, maybe we would start with like 30-day, you come and work kind of thing or something like that, and then you learn how to cook all these different things, and then learn how to there's so many things that we do. And but yeah, learning how to cook it all is super important as well. And I love to cook. Definitely love to cook. So yeah, I'll be having a video coming out pretty soon about how to cook the garden greens, and this includes collard greens, kale, Swiss chard, beets and beet greens, onions, garlic. I'll show you how to cook all that in the most incredible way. Rachel says, "Thanks, Nate. Yep, I definitely managed to miss the most important part. We'll get it right next year, promise." Yes, and remember, getting it right for next year begins this year, right? Stone Creek says, "Hey Nate, how long does the weed water last in a bucket?" Indefinitely, basically. It will just keep anaerobic ferments. They decompose and become somewhat more plant available. So then they will just stay there. So, for example, if you put a bunch of weeds into a bucket, and filled it with the water and some leaf mold, and let it totally digest for several months, the microorganisms will explode. They will consume all of the food that they have. But then once they consume all the food, they will die. And so what will be left is the residue of their activity, which is their bodies and their feces and their just activity, okay? And so all of those things are going to be nutrients that are in plant available forms. And so an anaerobic ferment, when it's properly done, is a huge flood of plant available nutrients, and also nutrients that are very easily and quickly digested by the microorganisms that are there. And so that's really the benefit. So it doesn't go bad. You can just let it, if you make one now and then get to it next year, it will be totally still the same. It's not like when we're making aerated teas where we're trying to, or the JMS, where we're trying to culture microorganisms. That's actually different. The anaerobic ferments are actual nutrients. The compost teas and stuff don't have all that much nutrients in them. Because remember, guys, the compost teas, the aerated teas, are not multiplying the nutrients. You can never multiply the nutrients in any of your solutions. I know that that's contrary to popular belief, but 2 + 2 will always equal 4. It will never equal 5. And so the amount of nutrients in a solution is only equal to its ingredients. You can't multiply them. You do multiply the microorganisms, though, which is majorly beneficial. So, yeah, we have to remember that. And let's see here. Guys, the kombucha video will be coming pretty soon, and I'll show you guys. I really like this carafe container. I'll show you guys about it in the kombucha video, but it's sort of handmade in Poland. It's incredible. And the spout is really nice and stout. I like this container a lot. And mostly I like its shape because it doesn't have a bottleneck. It doesn't change shape. So when you're trying to do continuous brew kombucha and the SCOBY is the right size, it'll just move up and down freely as opposed to getting all tangled up and stuff like that. And then it'll get hung up and part of it'll dry out and mold and then ruin your batch and all that. So yeah, I'll show you all that in the video. Blessed Love says, "I'm getting new beds ready for fall garden. What kind of fertilization can I do before the plants are in?" So you can add the fertility. If you have the compost, definitely add that. You can also, if you had some wood ash, I would apply that. If you have some well-aged manures, you can apply that. If you had some of the Viking nutrient mix, yes, then you could apply that. That would be perfect at that time. But you can pretty much treat it like an early spring planting. But you want quicker stuff that sort of gets into the soil quicker. So wood ash is a very good one. You could even pile up some leaves if you have dry leaves or dry sticks and twigs and burn them right on spot. so long as it's a flash fire and not like a big, heavy, deep fire, that can make the soil very fertile. So let's see, a couple of things. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys, if you are into tree trimming and if you're running a chainsaw, these kind of helmets are very, very beneficial, and I love them. And so I was doing some chainsaw work the other day, and I had to get this one because my old one is left in California, but it was a Steel brand. The chainsaw brand Steel. It was a Steel brand one, and it was awesome. And man, I used to abuse that thing all the time. I had stuff crack me in the head, and it was perfectly fine. But I had to order this Husqvarna one because I needed it the very next day, and Amazon Prime could overnight this for me. But guys, I gotta say, this is garbage quality. This Husqvarna one is garbage. So no, I'm not putting no link in the description. No, I don't recommend getting one. These things are a joke. I was out there look at that. Look, this thing just fell off again. I was out there in the blazing sun trying to get this tree out of the middle of a street. People are honking their horns and stuff. Oh man, it was and it was just hot, and I was pouring sweat down my face and out there running the chainsaw, and this stupid thing kept falling off. It's garbage. So I'm gonna send it back, and I'm gonna get the Steel one, which is twice the price, but who cares if it's safety, and this is just ridiculous. I mean, that's totally ridiculous, guys. And I'm gonna make sure that they are aware that I am displeased. Not impressed. No, but look, guys, these things are awesome though, because look, even though I got a big head, see, it keeps stuff from, I can't hear anything, but it keeps it nice and quiet from running the chainsaw. And then this can flip up when you got to talk or do something, or take a drink of water. Yeah, they're really nice, all in one. I still wear goggles even with that, but just wanted to say this Husqvarna brand is garbage. So there's my review on that. Yeah, not impressed. Yeah. Mad Max says, love your honesty, Nate. Oh, absolutely. I have no problem telling you about garbage stuff. VA Greens, $10. Thank you very much, my friend. Says, Nate, do you ever use any SST in your gardens? Thanks for all the great content this week. What is SST? Serotonin, or what is SST? Then I can answer the question. Let us see here. Scott Miller says, 8 shrooms. Yeah, if you guys follow my Instagram account, you will see in my story that I just set up the downstairs grow tent and put like 7 or 8 buckets of mushrooms in there. It's incredible. So I've already, after just like 4 or 5 days, already some of the lion's mane have started to fruit. So check out the Instagram story, and you will see that the grow tent is up and running, and I've inoculated the buckets because I'm going to show you guys this fall how to grow the mushrooms in a very simplified way. Last year was a great learning experience. I had done it before, but it had been years, and there were different kinds of mushrooms and stuff like that. But so we did it last year, but I've streamlined the whole thing, got it super simplified for you guys. So this year, I will show you how to inoculate the buckets, what type of medium to use, what type of strains of mushrooms we can grow on there. Because I had so many experiments last year, and now I know for sure. And so, yeah, because once you inoculate these buckets, guys, they will keep fruiting for months, for like several months. So you get quite a bit. It's great. Christine Edwards says, make sure they get lots of fresh air. Oyster mushrooms will just make pins if they don't have a fan. Yes, fresh air, definitely. But actually, if they are just pinning, then it's lack of moisture, typically, if they're just pinning, because they will abort. They're called aborts. And the mushrooms will, if they start to grow and they don't have enough moisture, they will just abort because it's not ideal conditions. So if you see on the Instagram story that I have the thing set to about 70 degrees at about 75 to 85% humidity, which is ideal. And a fan circulating the air, it's really nice for them. And so yeah, Let's see. Stone Creek says, "Hey Nate, last question. Our local grocery store has a trash can by the produce where everybody shucks their corn. Good use for this?" I don't know, because I bet that stuff has been sprayed with all kinds of stuff. If it's just regular corn, if it's it can be high in carbon material. So if you want to compost it, yeah, if you need carbon material for your compost, then yeah, I mean, there will be some nitrogen and stuff in the silks and all that. But yeah, you can definitely use that and compost it. But that probably has all kinds of, if it's conventionally farmed, it's got all kinds of stuff that's been sprayed on it in some way. So you don't really need that. Let's see. And okay. Wild Bill says, "I need to learn how to grow mushrooms." Yeah, definitely, man. We'll be doing it as soon as the outdoor season is coming to an end. We'll be, you'll see the video coming, and then I will put links on the description of the videos so that you can make, so that you can do it yourself. And lion's mane, yellow oysters, blue oysters, definitely super delicious and really easy. Scott Miller, okay, SST is seed sprout tea. I don't have a lot of experience with the seed sprout tea, just because I've never had a necessity for it. I understand the concept of it, of course, but I've never had a necessity for it. I mean, when I show you guys the aerated compost tea, that's pretty much all you will need, more or less. Compost extract as well, but you want to focus on getting the compost made. The seed sprout tea, maybe I'll start experimenting with it a little bit more. But yeah, I don't have enough experience to say anything one way or the other. Pipalata Langstrumpf says, "I cannot donate, but I am very, very grateful." That's good enough, my friend. So thank you for your gratitude and the positive energy. No problem that you cannot donate. Do not worry. Because that's what I like about not having like a Patreon and members only kind of area and stuff. It's like, because I just am under the belief that the people that have the means and the inspiration to donate, they will do so. And they have to this point. So the people that don't, you can still access the knowledge, which is great. So let us see here. John M. Heck yes. Good to see you live. Yes. Glad you're here, John. Michael says, "Can you discuss off-gassed water and what remains afterwards?" I haven't had any. I mean, there's theories beyond what happens as far as like off-gassing water so that the chlorine evaporates and stuff. And I do know that when you off-gas the water, the microbial brews work a lot better. They brew a lot faster. The Jadam microbial solution functions a lot better when you off-gas the tap water. So I know that there are certain things in the tap water that kill microorganisms, in particular the chlorine. And so that is a gas, and it will off-gas for the most part. There's all kinds of other stuff, but the ones we're concerned about are the chlorine. So by allowing it to off-gas, this is going to give us the best chance of culturing the microorganisms. But I don't know exactly what remains because I have not had soil or water tests done and stuff like that. So I do often use rainwater. Okay. Pipilata says, "First time I'm having blossom end rot on my tomatoes. Just now, disappeared. Blossom end rot on your tomatoes. Okay. Make the ash fertilizer from the video that you saw of mine. Make the ash fertilizer, make the water-soluble calcium, and apply both of those. Both of those can be foliar sprayed at the right dilution rate. So add them to the roots, but also the water-soluble calcium, you can add to the tomato. So if you have the water-soluble calcium, you can make a foliar spray with like 1 gallon of water and 1 ounce of the fish fertilizer and maybe 1 tablespoon of the water-soluble calcium. Add that and spray it onto the tomatoes. And that is like, foliar feeding is almost like a main lining for the plants. it is really what gets in there fast. They can absorb nutrients through their skin, through their leaves, which is incredible. So you can utilize this. Okay. Yeah, first time you're having blossom emerald, then definitely. Let's see. Tuloco says, it's not only off-gassing. Chlorine breaks down fairly easy when exposed to sunlight. Okay, nice. Nice, good. Muddy Paws says, compost in black trash can with H2O and Texas heat. Is it safe to dilute and use as fertilizer, and how to apply? Okay, so in black trash can, you mean without holes? So you've got like an anaerobic ferment, then you will want to use it. You will want to watch the video that I made on how to apply it. You can add it 1 gallon, maybe like start with 1 to 100 dilution rate. So if you have 100 gallons, add 1 gallon of the stuff and apply it to the roots only at first. If you're experimenting with the new stuff, you want to apply it to the roots only, because a lot of things, you don't want to experiment too much with spraying stuff on the leaves. You only want stuff that you know that the plants will react good to, because especially like tomatoes don't like having stuff sprayed on their leaves. I don't spray any of the anaerobic ferments. I don't spray any of those on the tomatoes, because they just are such princess plants. They just don't like anything like that, sprayed. And so, yeah, only sometimes aerated compost teas on the tomatoes. That's it. Simon Yates says, remember, tribe, if you're unable to donate but value the content, the next best thing you can do is like and share so that others can access the knowledge and the tribe can grow. Very well said, my friend. I like that. That is exactly what I would say myself. You can like the video, you can share it with other people in the Facebook groups and stuff. So that's really good. Like I said, I will be getting a new Facebook page. Don't even bother with the one that's there, because it's not done right. I need to I'm going to delete it. Yeah, I'm going to delete it and start over so that we can start fresh. Because I want to do like Facebook Lives and stuff like that, because, I just need more access. I want to do more content even. And the Facebook is going to be a good way to do it. I can tell. Facebook Lives. So look out for that new group. Scott Miller says, wood ash in the rot. Yes, definitely can do that. Jeff Cox says, my wife is interested in the lion's mane as a possible replacement for Adderall. Yes. It would not be a stimulant, not nearly in the same kind as the Adderall. Adderall is powerful stuff, guys. So it would be a component, definitely, as far as what it does for mental cognition. So you will want to participate in a talk that we have on the Nate Murray channel on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, because it's really multifaceted. You will want to, first and foremost, get the hydration right. You have to get the hydration right. Then you want to get tight control over everything you are putting into the body. You have to eliminate endocrine disrupting chemicals that go into the body, preservatives and phthalates and all these other kind of things. I could go on and on. All of this stuff is put into the food system and into the food, the way it's grown, the packaging, all of that. You got to get rid of all that stuff, guys. Endocrine disruptors are what is confusing people's hormones and confusing people's states of mind and stuff like this, because it mimics actual hormones and things. And it really is doing a number on a lot of people and their mental state, their mental clarity. So you have to be hydrated. You have to be very conscious of what goes into the body. And you have to practice mind training. You have to train the mind in the same way that you would train a muscle, and the mind will respond. And so that's just the beginning. But with that multifaceted approach, the lion's mane will be a very powerful player in all of that, definitely. And John M. says, what a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for taking the time to share with us. You're very welcome, John. And yeah, it just flows. You know what I mean? It just flows. Jeff, $10. Thank you very much, my friend. But yes, for that, what we talked about, or with the lion's mane, I will show you guys how to make an extract. So if she particularly wants the lion's mane, which is very good, mental cognition, all kinds of stuff. The best way of all is to eat it, is to eat the lion's mane. Yeah, and so some people will say, oh no, a concentrate is better. A concentrate is better because it's more bioavailable to the body, and it just so happens I'm selling the concentrate. Yeah, okay, maybe. But what I think is that the best way to consume it is the way nature intended you to consume it, which is to just eat it. Cook it, of course, which I don't, maybe nature didn't intend for that either, but to eat the whole thing. That's the way to do it. Now, that being said, I will show you guys how to make a concentrate from it this winter, a tincture from it, so that we can utilize it sublingually and get still some of the many beneficial compounds in combination with eating it, in combination with the right hydration, in combination with the right diet, in combination with the right thoughts. This is so important. All three of these, they're a trinity. It's very important. And without any of the ones, then the triangle will collapse. You know what I'm trying to say. So I suggest joining us 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on the Nate Murray channel, where we can discuss that kind of stuff way in depth. And guys, go back and watch the one. I feel like the one that we just did last Monday on the 10th on the Nate Murray channel was very good. I feel like there was a lot of good conversation, a lot of good knowledge for you guys. So check that one out. If you haven't already, check it out. It's the kind of video that you can just put on and work, or put on and drive, or put on and clean the basement. Put on and do something, because we go to many different topics. Okay. Kimberly Frine, $10. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. I appreciate the contribution, you guys. Stefan, I'm not sure how you say it, Thurman. Can I spray calcium acetate during flowering of cannabis? Yes, you can, so long as it's not, once the bud set really begins to take hold and you see the actual formation of the flower, we don't want to be spraying anything onto the flowers themselves, because you're going to be in some way consuming that. And so unless it's outdoors, if it's outdoors, then yes, where it's getting the rain, hopefully it doesn't get too much rain because it will mold. But if it is, like indoors and stuff like that, or in greenhouses or light depth, all that kind of stuff, once it gets about the third, fourth week of flower, now second, third week even, you don't want to spray anything on them. Okay. That's just my opinion, but if you don't care about the fact that it might influence the flavor or the taste or any of that, then yeah, go ahead and spray it on there. Tuloco says, careful with that stuff and do a lot of research. I tried Angel's trumpet tea in my young years. Scary experience to say the least. Yes, but we are talking about growing our own lion's mane. We're not talking about going out and foraging anything like that or experimenting with new mushrooms. We're talking about growing what we know to be lion's mane, because we get them from the company that is giving us the good quality guaranteed spawn. And so we're not just sort of randomly going out and taking mushrooms and making tinctures out of them. Techno Surf says, I have not meditated in years. I'm a vet, and wow. Yes, you should be there Monday with us, guys. We do a little 10-minute meditation. And so, we do a little 10-minute meditation to begin the thing where we're just, it's like going to the gym for your mind. It's pretty awesome. So, Jay Moore says, I'd ask a doctor about dosing off Adderall first. Oh, yeah. Oh, guys, if you're on Adderall, man, believe me, in a past lifetime, I knew all about that stuff. And if you're on Adderall, if you're taking it daily, there's going to be withdrawal symptoms, sometimes very serious ones. And so you will experience a type of depression. I mean, this is my experience. I shouldn't say it like that. I shouldn't guarantee, because maybe you won't. But that's why, guys, I've been to the depth of all of that stuff, man. And that is why it's going on 6 years without any mind or mood altering chemicals in my system at all. Couldn't be clearer in the mind, couldn't be happier, couldn't be more at peace, just totally fulfilled with everything in life. And there's no way that I could improve on my experience, my day-to-day experience, even the stuff that seems unhappy, or even the stuff that's irritating or mundane, even that has got a depth and a richness to it that is just so far beyond what I used to, a lot of cannabis in my life, I mean, I used to work on the farms producing it and stuff. And so a lot of cannabis used to be in my life and stuff like that. But once I found the wholeness within myself, absolutely no need. There's no need for any kind of alteration out of this present moment. But anyways, that's stuff that we talk about on Mondays anyways. But I understand that a lot of people have it's a medicine for them. They're taking it in a medical dosage. It's totally different than the way I used to take stuff. So I'm just speaking from my own experience, but you want to prepare for the come down from that, okay? Big Will says, Nate, anytime my gardening takes a bad turn, I tell myself to embrace the suck. The military mindset helps a ton. Oh, absolutely, man. I agree with that. Yeah, you embrace it. You just embrace it. And that translates to life in general. And it's good that we can feel these things, because then it gives us the feeling and the knowledge that we need to not recreate these same errors or these same mistakes in our garden or in our life. Definitely. Brian says the meditation has improved our week. Oh, okay, yeah. Brian is there on the Mondays, so he says the meditation has improved our week. Can't wait. Good, nice. Techno Surf, be here Monday. Good, I'm glad. And hugs, not drugs. Yes, my friend. VA Green says, started using meditation in early 80s after a difficult time. Great way to keep your mind clear and uncluttered. Yes, definitely. And the way that we do it is the sharpening of the mind, definitely. And you will see on Mondays. So, okay, guys, let's see here. Teresa, hello, my friend, says, so sorry that I'm late, but I'm so stoked to watch the replay. Nate, this week's knowledge shares were amazing as always. Thank you very much, Teresa. You have been like a light to this channel, to both channels. Wonderful. So thank you very much for being here, my friend. And, ooh, yeah. Jay Moore says, a friend of mine quit Ambien cold turkey, freaked out and jumped off a tower. Be careful with drugs. Yeah, definitely, guys. No doubt about it. So I want to show you one more time. Garden Like a Viking P.O. Box. Garden Like a Viking P.O. Box 9101, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46899. If you want to send something, go ahead and send it, guys. Let's flood the box with whatever you're trying to send. So that would be cool. Let's see. Christine Edwards says, is it an anaerobic solution? I don't know what concept they are using to make that. You're talking to someone else. Douglas says, I am suffering dearly for the last 3 weeks, probably with my third bout of long haul COVID. Oh, man. Guys, let's send Doug some healing energy. My friend, please get better. I send you the highest healing. Definitely. I found the best thing when ill is to make the tea with ginger, cloves, and ginger and cloves, definitely. And then boil those together. And then once you take it off, you can add fresh squeezed lemon juice and honey. Yes, like this. And drink that all the time. Drink that consistently. It's very good. You could also add cardamom and black pepper. Those are all really good for when you're sick. I made a video about it on my other channel, Travel Like a Viking. It's called Yogi Tea. And Freebird, yes, have a great week, Nate and friends. Yes, you too, my friend. And send Nate a drone camera. Oh man, some drone footage. Yeah, I got a cheap, you know, them Facebook targeted ads. They got me. They got me at first. Several months ago, I was like, ooh, a drone for $100? What? It's like, wow. And then all these things it can do and stuff. It's so fantastic and all this crazy. And I got it. And it is absolute garbage. I mean, garbage, total joke. And so, yeah, you get what you pay for. And it just, if it's Facebook targeted ads, they got me. So yeah, it kind of soured me on drones. But if I'm going to do a drone thing, I probably need to get a real one, like $1,000 or something. But man, I don't know about all that. So, Does anyone have any experience? Doug says, does anyone have any experience or suggestions dealing with long haul COVID? Guys, put it in the description of the video, or put it in the comments, or say it right now. Do you have any experience with that for Doug? Let's see here. Michael says, sending my own variety of yard-long rattlesnakes. Yard-long rattlesnakes, or you just mean beans? Ooh, PA, did I miss them? Oh, let's see here. Damn, PA is on it, man. Okay, Kimberly Fine, $10. I saw that right. Jeff Cox, $10. Thank you very much. It's because see, as the tribe is growing, the comments are just like flying by. They just so I just like grab one, you know. So like if I'm saying something and then, well, yeah. Anyways, VA Green, okay, yes. Did I miss them? Are you sure? Let's see here. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna find it. Okay, Michael, it's discussed off-gas water. Yes, thank you. And I don't think that I did. I don't know if I did. But if I did, I'm sorry that I missed it somehow. They're not notifying me of the tip. But thank you guys all for the contributions. You are all greatly appreciated. And let me know if you have like video idea suggestions. You know, if there are videos that you guys want to see that that I haven't made about, because it's sort of to the point where, you know, well, I made so many videos like last year and stuff. So it's yeah, well, just let me know if there's, because it's a little bit, there's only like so many gardening things you can make, you know what I mean? So we got to find out. That's why I can't wait. Well, I can't wait back till we get the homestead, till we get the land, the campus, the school, because then there will be unlimited content ideas, definitely, about so many things. Because even though I've been a part of things like we had a hog on the mountain and chickens and stuff like that, I've been a part of all of that, but it's never been like my operation, you know? And so it's going to be a great learning experience, but I will be able to utilize the mentality and the skills and everything that I already have, and I will be able to reach out to you guys and get knowledge and information to really shorten the learning curve dramatically. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited for all of that. Sarah Richardson says, hey Nate, have you grown turmeric yet? Yes, I have. It grows very much like ginger, almost exactly like ginger. So watch my video on how to grow ginger, and then yes, you can grow turmeric in the same way. The only thing is, man, okay, do you remember that ginger that I had, guys, that it was super tall and long, and then it was super tall and long, and it was like too big for being indoors, and so I set it outside, and I didn't harden it off properly. I just got overzealous, and I thought it was going to be cloudy for a couple days, and it was like running out of room, so I put it outside too soon, and the sun just fried it. I mean, it just roasted the leaves, man, and it's still like hard to recover. It's all kind of recovered by now, but it's not nearly, so I need to harden it off way better next year. Yeah, so let's see here. Nate can't say it, but I can. Say what? Sean says, I'm starting my spinach seedlings indoors since spinach is more toward fall. It's July. Should I start indoors now? Yes. Watch my video about the fall garden that I put out like last week or the week before, and it will show you, yes, that right now is the good timing. You can start the spinach. Spinach can take 20 and 30 days to really sprout. So yes, definitely you can do this. Can we consume, Donna says, can we consume calcium acetate? If so, how much? Yes, you can. Yes, you can consume it. You can treat it basically like apple cider vinegar. So to those of you that like take apple cider vinegar, sometimes up to an ounce in a glass of water, you can take that. Yes. You could start with a teaspoon or a tablespoon if you want, but you can take an ounce in water with some maple syrup or some honey and a pinch of sea salt. Oh, that is very good. And you can take it that way, definitely. Let's see. Okay, Michael says, video for sending cuttings to a P.O. box. Yes, video for sending cuttings to a P.O. box. That would be all right. I could do that, definitely. I'll have to see how it works, though. I don't know how, I mean, well, I'll just have to see how it works when packages, like bigger packages, come in. So Chris Hill, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Says, thank you for sharing all your knowledge and passion. I look forward to your videos each week. All right. Thank you for the enthusiasm, my friend. So we are coming to a close, guys. Let me know if you have any burning questions. And yes, okay, you guys are having a good side conversation. All right, guys. So check out the Garden Like a Viking Instagram. Check out the what will be coming soon, the new Garden Like a Viking Facebook, and you can send stuff to the PO box. You can also make a contribution to the PayPal if you want to just like help further the cause and all of that. And every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we will be right here doing a live Q&A. And every Monday, 10:30 morning Eastern Time, on my other channel, Nate Muri, M-U-R-I, we will do another kind of live where we start with 10 minutes of meditation, and then we talk about all different kinds of stuff: human psychology, the subconscious mind, what motivates our behaviors in life, and health, wellness, the master cleanse, nutrition, hydration, all that kind of stuff. We dive deep into that. So you can join us there. Okay, my friends, it's been real.